Hi, my name is David Marcel. I'd like to welcome you back to Let's Learn the Bass Together. This is instruction for people as myself who are brand new to the bass. If you have a year, 2 years on the bass, you might want to look for something that will be a little more challenging for you and take you to your next level. This, however, is for the first timers on the bass, and again, as I stated before, what we're going to do is I'm going to come here each week, and what I've learned, I'm going to play. We're all going to go away and practice it. We're going to come back, or in between, before we come back, and talk about it, dialogue about what you thought about it. This is good, this is not good, whatever. And that we're going to learn bit by bit, piece by piece. And of course, you know, someone who is a newcomer as myself may have something to offer, something that I can learn from. So we can all feedback. We've all heard a piece of knowledge from a master bass player somewhere at some point in time. I mean, you have an interest in the instrument, so obviously that's why you're looking to play it. So just be sure to share, and be sure to subscribe so that you can continue to be on this journey with us each week. We're going to take you to all the way through, from the very elementary stage of the bass onto things that are very challenging. But we're doing it together because I am brand new just like you. So firstly, let's just break down some things that we need to talk about, and we're going to be real quick about it because I want this to be lesson one, part one, lesson one. You know, I'm using a 4-string bass, and that's intentional. That wasn't an accident. I noticed that a lot of the greats, you know, Jocko, Victor Wooten, many others, chose the 4-string bass. That was their bass of choice, and it's like they were able to make the music with just 4 strings. I have nothing against 5-string bass, nothing against a 6-string. That was just my bass of choice. Because I had a 5-string, but I wanted to challenge myself to learn to play all of the music on just 4 strings. So the 4 strings, your first string, and when I say first, I'm talking about the string furthest away from you. That's going to be G. So the next string is going to be D, A, and then E. G, D, A, E. And you may have already known this, but you know, a lot of times when people are dealing with guitars or basses, they do a lot of things in reverse, and to them that's forwards. But you know, I'll just get with their program. So like this will be the first string, the string furthest away from you. If you read left to right, as most of us do, then you might be inclined to think that the thickest string is the first string. But we're going to go with the thinnest, which is the G, as the first string. I play the violin, so I'm going to try to be very careful here because the violin is the exact reverse of the bass. Because on the violin, that's G for me. But G is way down there. And it sounds the same way on the violin also. It's the same exact note. I'm just saying it's positioned differently. So I hope I don't confuse the two and tell you that this is a G, because this is for the bass, it's going to be an E. Okay, moving along, you have your 4 strings, G, D, A, and E, and the next thing we're going to talk about really quickly is this part of the bass right here. All right. If you look, you'll see I have 2 pickups. Now, this first pickup here is lined up kind of diagonally with this knob. This controls that particular pickup. And this knob controls this pickup. And this is my tone knob, which will give me the quality of my sound. Right? So I have really basically 2 volume knobs for my 2 pickups and the tone of the sound. Right? So as far as the left hand goes, when you are going to play, because we're not going to be playing open, right? That's not And open simply means that you're not pressing on the string. You just, that, you know, our intention is to play. So I'm jumping right into it. When you're fingering, and we will start with the first string, with the G string. You go count down to the 3rd fret, 1, 2, 3. And what you want to do is one finger per fret. All right? And what you're doing is actually you're putting the finger just behind the fret. You don't want to put it on the fret. You're going to end up making a buzzing sound. And you will find that that pinky finger is going to be the challenging finger, because that's probably your weakest finger, it's the smallest one. And you're going to feel that this is almost impossible to do, some of you, because you really have to reach with that pinky. But it's doable, and it becomes second nature after a while. It's very easy. But starting out is very hard for a lot of people. And so with this in mind, here is the exercise. Right? We're going count down to your 3rd fret, and I have to be careful about my ups and my downs on the bass. You count into your 3rd fret, then you, with your forefinger, that's 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4, right? That's what you're going to be, that's the notes you're going to be playing with your left hand. And it'll be like this. Right? Okay, now for the right hand, let's get up here so I can show you what's going on down here. Now, if you've ever had a bass and you fool around, you might have done a lot of, right? Because you've seen guys playing up, so you play up. But in actuality, you want to use 2 fingers. And that's another thing that if you've never done is going to feel very unnatural. But after a while, it comes second nature, right? I like to rest my thumb on this top pickup here, and I use these 2 fingers to play, right? So when I play, every time I play this finger, the next finger is going to be this finger, then this finger, then this finger. So every note, I switch fingers. Now that's going to come into play down the line when you're playing with speed. You become more advanced, and you have a run to play that requires speed. You're going to find that's beneficial. Another thing that's beneficial, and I'm going to tell you that I don't do a whole lot of, and I really should, but I'm just, to be fair to you, to let you know. Come back up here so you can see this. There are a lot of bass players, master bass players, that would tell you that, okay, 1 finger per fret, but also you want that finger on the bone, the very tip that, you know, of your finger should be on that string. If you look at a lot of bass players, a lot of them don't do that, but they play, and they play well. But this is what I call crab fingers. I mean, you know, it's kind of like this. And on the tip, on the tip, on the tip, on the tip, you know, like a crab. But what happens is, if you choose to do this, it'll take you a lot longer to learn how to move along on the bass. But what will happen is that you will eventually be able to play faster when you advance to that level where you're playing fast runs and you're soloing, whatever you're doing. Those crab fingers eventually will allow you to be a better, faster player. So just to be fair to you, I'm very impatient, and so I may do it when I get here, right? Because it's easier when you lay down, when you count to the 3rd fret and you go down like that, it's easier to do it on this side. But as you move closer to that E string, it becomes harder because you're stretching over, okay? So that crab stuff really becomes challenging then. But if you want to do it the right way, just know that your fingertips is what needs to be on the string, not necessarily your pads, not the flat area of your finger, but the very tip, as impossible as that sounds. And if you stick with that and you opt to do that, you'll be better off for it. Okay, having said that, and having shown you where we're going to be playing, this is this week's exercise. This is what we're going to practice and go away and come back. And during the week, before we come back, talk about it, dialogue about it. It's counting down to the 3rd fret, 1, 2, 3. And as we said, one finger per fret. And what we're going to do is come again just behind the fret. So that's the movement. So this is how it's going to sound, something like this. Well, not like that. There it is, right? And meanwhile, your right hand will be doing this. You see the alternate back and forth? Okay? So that's the pattern, but this is the exercise, and I'm going to play it all the way through. Okay, so that's the pattern. What we're doing is, once you got on your 4th fret, you went to the next string over, right? Closer to you, right? And in the same 3rd fret, you jumped over to the next string, which is D. Then you came over to A. Oops, sorry about that. And then finally E. Right? So that's the exercise. As far as the tuning of the bass, you want to always be in tune, because first of all, you'll be eventually be playing with people, and you want to be in tune. But to me, more important than that is just your ears. You want to tune the bass correctly so that you will hear the right notes and you'll hear the right tones. And I think that as time goes on, you know, some of us will attain perfect pitch, that you will hear a note and be able to identify it, that, you know, that's something that's attainable. So in this age of technology, if you want to tune your bass, you don't have to go and find a piano. You don't have to go find a guitarist and tell him to give me E, A, D, G. All you really need in this day and age is your cell phone or your iPod, right? You go to the App Store or you go to the Play Store and you say bass tuner. Do a search on bass tuner. You will see tons of free tuners that will enable you to tune your bass. And so when you hear G, D, A, and E, you'll be able to tune it by corresponding the app's note to the note on your string, on your bass. I went through it pretty fast. I didn't get into a whole lot of instruction because, again, if you have a bass guitar, I'm thinking that you fool around, you know enough about the mechanics of the bass to know that, you know, to know all the things that I didn't really touch on. And there's a lot of information that we're all going to be dealing with. This isn't going to be your only source of information, but I'll come with a lot of stuff, and I'll try to make it like a staircase. And when there are interesting things that I find and I learn, I'll come back and I'll share it. You know, you find something and you want to share with the rest of us, please feel free to, because I'm here learning also. So as you're doing your exercises, as you might have noticed, you heard some buzzing. You want to play so that the buzzing subsides, or you don't hear any buzzing at all. And usually you might hear that on the pinky finger when you're starting out, because you're stretching, and it's the weakest finger really, and it has to put down the same amount of pressure as all the other strings, and it's going to be a little challenging for that pinky. And so you're going to find that that pinky is you're going to feel like you're, you know, getting tired. But in the event, as with everything, it'll come. Your hands will get stronger, and as I get more ideas, I'll share them with you in reference to hand strength and finger strength and all of that. And so this is what we're going to do for this week. But once again, 3rd fret, 1 finger per fret. I got it right that time. Okay, and as I was saying, as to being fair, I'm going to give you something else as far as being fair to you and not give you incorrect information. Take a good notice what I'm doing here. All right, now watch it again. Did you see the difference? Well, the difference was, if you didn't catch it, was that the first time I did it like this. Right? But the second time, I did it like this. And I did not release my fingers until I played the next note on the next string. Then I released that finger, then that finger, then that finger, and so on. And that's the way to really do that exercise. And a lot of these things, they're really challenging, but what they do is they allow you to become a lot more proficient down the line because you've taken the time to do the tougher things sooner. Now, unfortunately, I've messed around a lot with the bass guitar, and I played the violin, and so my knowledge really is working against me because there's a lot of things I have to try to not think about as I'm playing this instrument. But I'm just going to be honest with you. That's how I play it. But the way that is recommended that you play it is how I show you, where you don't pick up that finger until you're playing that note. And you will find that your muscles become involuntary muscles. It's like you don't want to move that finger, but you see it moving, and you're like, what is going on? But what's really happening is it's a process where you learn that, hey, I can control that finger. I can make it not move. And it's really even harder when you're trying to go back from E back down to G. So practice it either way, and we're going to come back during the week. Please feel free to share your opinions, and again, please subscribe so that you can catch all the lessons. This is part 1. In a week we'll come back with part 2. So again, please practice, and again, please share. I want to hear what you think, how we can make this better, because if you're going to give me some better ideas, you're actually making it better for everybody, not just for me, okay? So we'll see you in a week, and remember to practice. Take care for now. Bye-bye.